All right, let's draft it. Let's draft it store. With school, uh, new school year starting, and for some areas, and next week and the week after starting for others. I figure I'm going to do it on a couple of subjects that came up into the light uh, just recently. One of them, Oklahoma, boy, 5 years old, fan of the University of Michigan, both him and his parents. Uh, End up having to turn his Michigan shirt inside out. And the bullshit reason that school districts gave was gang related because of colors. Now, in this, they also stipulated that professional football, or professional football, professional sports teams were also prohibited. The only schools that were allowed were Oklahoma colleges, which I understand supporting your local team, but in that you know a little too much, especially since the kid was only 5 or 6. I mean, I gotta understand if it's middle school and high school and starting to worry about gang related, but that's a little young. I mean, really little young. But in response, sports director of the University of Michigan went out of his way and made the kid University of Michigan shirt with Michigan on the inside and on the outside. So if he has to turn his shirt inside out, he's got it on both sides, which I thought was cool, and gave him consolation prize of being able to go to, if they're in the state, go to any game that they want, which is cool. I don't know. I understand like I said, I don't understand the whole gang related thing. I think it's asinine. It's a way to promote Oklahoma and you know you know whatever But I do like what the University of Michigan did for the kid, and for that, 2 thumbs up, guys. I mean, if my kid's lucky enough to go, I hope one of her first choices is UofM. Next up, Texas. Now, this one's next week. I'm going to be doing conspiracies because this is being September, and the following week we'll deal with the September 11th bombings, 11th anniversary. Now, the reason why I'm doing this one to follow up is because it actually hits the head on the conspiracy theorist thing. Because there was a even back about 12, 13 years ago, I was hearing when they were first doing the RF chips in the pets to, so you can find your pet easy if it gets lost. That it was one step away that the Illuminati and all of this were use it on their kid, you or your kids, so that they could pinpoint you. Well, guess what? School district in Texas is trying to make it mandatory that kids have an RFD chip in their ID badge and keep it with them at all times. And there's a big flag on the parental front from this, and on a lot of other areas, because overstepping. A lot of stuff I've read is that they're overstepping their boundaries, which I agree. I mean, I can understand why they're doing it, so they keep track of the population, their student bodies, but they don't understand the can of worms. It's like can of worms they're opening in or Pandora's box that they're opening, because now with this, if parents say, "Oh, you have to do," the school districts get it, from the state, and the state and the federal say you have to mandatory, it's like you're not having a choice. Okay, you're being, to have this chip put in so we can find out where you're at and what you're doing at all times. Well, I don't need Big Brother knowing that I'm taking a shit in my bathroom, reading a porn, you know. Okay, plain and simple as that. Um, any more than that I believe that they need to know where my kid is at all times. Okay, it's my job as a parent to say, yes, I sent them to school. That's where they should be. If you don't have them, then there's something that you need to do, but don't overstep your boundaries. And this is pretty much, in my opinion, overstepping their boundaries. But I mean, there's a lot of laws out there, like I've stated, that should never have been put on the books. Whether it's state, local, or federal, or school district laws that get implemented that should never have been in there in the first place. And there's asinine reasons by the people who implement it and why it is the way it is. And this is going to be one of them. This is going to have a lot of fallout. Do I believe that this is going to lead to, like, the chipping? We created a bomb to destroy cities. We've used it twice. It should have been common sense saying, yes, we created this bomb. No, we shouldn't use it. It's going to cause too much problems. This chip should have been done. Should it been done? When my dog gets lost, I replace him with another dog. Would it make it easier if my kid got killed? Well, if this chip is not in them, no, because their ID could be stolen, and we're just, chasing around, a badge. Would it help in a murder investigation finding a dead body? Yes, unless the killers are smart enough to understand that there are these chips in people and to know where they're at and how to get them out. But it also, like I said, it also starts another snowball effect, Big Brother keeping track of everybody. And like I said, I don't want anybody knowing what I'm doing while I'm in the bathroom. And I don't think anybody else does either. And finally, we have another situation, and generally I won't talk about this because my opinions would actually piss off a whole lot of people. But we had a school district open up last week, and on top of a couple others, open up and on a couple other situations where a kid brought a gun, opened up fire, and the teachers subdued him with very limited casualties or injuries, which I applaud the teachers for being diligent enough to put their life on the line for their students. No matter what the situation was, that they could get up behind him and subdue him without very little incident. Okay, and that actually should be what happens in a lot of these situations. Just because the gun's being pointed out this way doesn't mean somebody can't come up from here, or if the kid turns around and shoot, somebody comes here and subdues them. Okay, it works. That's called gun control. That's real gun control. Okay, That's ban guns because so people don't get shot up, because that kid could have, well, use scenario here. We have a high school that opened up about 95, 96 from the district that I went to school, and they did it because my school at the time was getting, even for 3 buildings, was increasing in size. And what I mean by that is I had 2,600 students when I graduated from high school. Okay, roughly 5 or so 100 per student. My brother had the largest school population for a graduating class. Okay, my graduating class was almost 600 students. His was closer to almost 800. So they needed to increase the size of the school, and so now we have 2 high schools, or at one, we only had 1 in our district. And lo and behold, so you understand how this correlates. Lo and behold, we have school open, brand new school opens, and kid gets caught with a huge steak knife. So, gun control doesn't always work when it's not a gun that's being brought to school. But with that, like I said, next week will be conspiracies and my thoughts on them, and then the following will be 9/11 and facts and fictions. Fictions being the story that, well, was given to the populace on what happened. With that, it's draffet. Have fun.